I lost the meat here.
Oh.
Woohoo.
It's $10 right there. We think there are 3 core knives that you need. A chef's knife, a paring knife, and a serrated bread knife. But beyond that, there are some really cool knives that might be a nice addition to your collection, like one of these, a boning knife. These things have long, thin blades that are really good at getting into joints and around bones. And because bone-in meat is typically cheaper, this can translate to savings at the supermarket. They'll also protect your super expensive cut because you can trim away only the stuff you don't want.
Now, boning knives come in a lot of different lengths and levels of flexibility. There's stiff, semi-flexible, flexible. We think for the home cook, the most practical and versatile tool is the 6-inch flexible boning knife.
So we tested 6, priced from $20 all the way up to $120, and rated them on 3 main categories: sharpness, flexibility, and handle design. Check it out. All right, so we're looking at sharpness right now. Lisa, what are we going to do first?
Well, we're going to measure the length of the knives. We're going to look at the thickness of the blade at the halfway point, and we're also going to consider the edge angle. That's the angle at which the blade is sharpened, which we learned from the manufacturer.
Very tip here.
This is the MERCER, just 6 inches, 0.85 millimeters. We have the Zwilling 5.5, which is interesting, 0.84 millimeters. This is the curved Victorinox, and that is 1 millimeter. Wow, okay. So this is really expensive. This is a beef tenderloin. If you mess this up as you're trimming it, you're gonna just throw away dollars and dollars. This is well over $100.
So bummed out. Yeah, over $100 for this thing.
This is what's called the silver skin, and it's this tough kind of connective tissue on here that you just want to cut that off so it tastes better. So the first knife is the MERCER. Feels really good, actually. I feel like it's very responsive. That curved thing, is that shape kind of a disadvantage in that sense? Does it get in your way?
I think I'd prefer a straight blade.
This is the Zwilling. I tried the MERCER. It wasn't dull, but this feels like a dream. This is really nice.
That could be the difference in blade angles. The MERCER is 18 degrees. This one is 14, I believe.
Some of these knives just felt more sharp than others and more agile, and that made them easier to use.
We preferred knives with narrower edge angles. Blades with a 14 to a 15 degree blade were ideal. One had an 18 degree edge angle, and it actually felt a little dull by comparison. We also preferred thinner knives, 0.84 millimeters or less. Just 0.1 millimeter could actually make a palpable difference in how sharp a knife felt.
We also awarded points to knives that stayed sharp over time. Some of these started out sharp, and by the end of testing, were feeling pretty dull.
Next up, flexibility. All right, Lisa, why do we have a piece of raw chicken right here?
Well, you are going to take the meat off the bone. We buy the chicken with the skin and the bone because we want the skin. There is a really great recipe that we have for a skin-on chicken breast, and we get it really crispy, but you don't need the bones for this. This one is the MERCER. How's that feeling?
It's not the tidiest cut. Global?
That one's, yeah, global. That would be good.
Feels almost a little too bendy, like has a little bit of a mind of its own.
So this is the WÜSTHOF.
I wish it was hair stiffer. I'm a little nervous with it.
Yeah, that's not good.
Zwilling Henkels. Very
Yeah,
sharp.
you seem to be moving more confidently through this one.
Yeah, hugged the curves. It's going exactly where I ask it to. A good knife will give you better knife skills. So while all of these are marketed as flexible boning knives, there was a big difference in how flexible they were from knife to knife.
Yeah, exactly. Some of these were a little too rigid, so it meant that they couldn't hug the breastbone of the chicken quite as closely, and that meant more meat left behind and more money wasted. Other ones were a little too flexible, so they felt a little bendy and harder to control, and that actually felt a little dangerous.
We preferred a moderate amount of flexibility. This allowed for nimble but precise cuts and no wasted meat. All right, let's go to round 3, handle design. All right, Lisa, what are we doing with this beautiful hunk of meat here?
Well, this is a pork shoulder. It's got a bone in it, and that gives it some real juiciness and moistness because it's a low, slow roast. Before you serve it, before you slice it, you got to take out this giant big bone here.
This is why we chose this recipe for this test. Like, you need to be tactile with this, but then your hands get greasy, and so we want to make sure that the knife still feels secure. This one is a little slippery. I'm slipping and sliding all over here right now.
I'm going to deliberately get my hand a little greased up. Sorry, roast.
So how does it feel even though it's all greasy?
Feels fine. I don't feel like any slippage. I don't feel that sliding feeling that you get with the other one. No matter how I'm holding it, it's staying in my hand pretty well. The handle itself is not slippery, and honestly, It's super easy.
Oh my God, look how clean that is. That is amazing.
Wow, the dog will be sad.
Just one bite for the chef right there.
So we liked handles that were textured and rubbery, and that gave us a better grip on the knife. Slick handles were kind of rough to hold on to when your hands get wet or greasy.
We also thought about the size of the handles. Some of our big-handed testers preferred larger handles. They found them easier to grip, but overall we liked relatively slim handles.
And a thinner handle really makes it easier to shift your grip as you're working. So, Hannah, can you tell us which one won?
Yes, I can. The Zwilling Pro 5.5-inch flexible boning knife. It had a slim, comfortable handle, and it was super sharp, and it stayed sharp all throughout testing. It also had the shortest blade in our lineup, and this was a really good thing because it's great for control. We could get nice and close to the task at hand. At $100, it's a worthy investment.
And our best buy is the Victorinox Swiss Army Fibrox Pro 6-inch flexible boning knife.
Woo.
At just $25, it's a great option for home cooks. If you like our knife block, check out the link below.
Also linked down there are the full testing results and links to all of our winning flexible boning knives. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button.